step, you may find even a snake and step on it without seeing it, isn't it? And sometimes you touch snake. Huh? In India, there are so many snakes. But at night, you can't see them. But when the sun rises, you can see, oh, there is Maha Cobra in front of me. Huh? You know King Cobra. Have you seen? Yes, King Cobra. But at night, you can't see him. As soon as the sun rises, you see, oh, there is Maha Cobra. So knowledge is like that. It's that light in a form of knowledge which makes you see things for what they are. And then by that knowledge, you'll be able to avoid also stepping on the head of a snake or getting yourself into danger. So that's the importance of book distribution. That it gives you knowledge that is like sunshine. Aditya Vad Jnanam, Bhagavad Gita says, just like in daytime we see. So the torchlight of knowledge make us see just as we see in daytime. For example, I was looking on internet. What are the problems faced by Indian youth? But what they are saying is that the problems that I find in America also everywhere, even in Africa. So I'll just show you what Internet Maharaj says. Problems faced by Indian youth. Education, peer pressure, drug abuse, unemployment, mental health, depression, lack of self-esteem, political instability, academic stress, family problems also in India amongst the youth, lack of opportunity, says also materialism also, mental pressure. And then he says most young people are uneducated or poorly educated. The most troubling problem is, above all this problem, unemployment. Right? And then look to Vedic period or ancient in India. In ancient India, agriculture was the main occupation, but people in the Vedic period followed different occupations also, like building chariots, making ornaments, weaving. They were dyeing leather and doing pottery. These were some of the occupations in ancient India. The society also had doctors who practiced herbal treatments. So modern day's problems are due to modernization. Modernization comes with so many side effects. I remember in my engineering office, we did work manually. I was explaining upstairs how I was, my work mainly was sampling, means that I analyzed the quality of minerals. So we were using machines. But in my office, there was one person who put all the work into a computer. I didn't have to use a computer. Nowadays, everyone has to use a computer. And then the jobs that were done by people in my time, like us, we used to do manual work. And then they have become jobless. because there are so many machines now that do the work that people were doing. So you don't need to employ many people. We just buy some machines, some computers. You get few people to operate. It cuts your cost, help you to make more money. Yeah. So in that way, advancement of technology also has contributed to people being unemployed. And nowadays, people are unemployable, most of them, because of stress and many problems that are overwhelming the society. And the young people also, I don't know, they have so many problems, but these problems they don't create, they just find them in this society, isn't it? Yeah. So we can see how society has evolved over the years. And that development, that revolution, it brings side effects. That's not in India, but you find that all over the globe, same problems. The highest rate of suicide is amongst young people, and that is also not caused by young people. The highest number of young people who are experimenting with drugs, they are not causing that problem. It's just a problem in the society. Like when Prabhupada went to America in 1966, the hippies were taking drugs also. They were trying, why they were doing that? Why doing so? Because the same American society that they expected to protect was sending them to the war in Vietnam against their will. Willingly, a Kshatriya will go to war, but some people they just wanted to enter into the career and they wanted to do so many things. But the government said, no, you all go to war. So they were kind of like disillusioned by the system in America. So as a result of that, they took to drugs, they took to yoga, meditation, because the society was a problem to them. So generally, we have a society which create systems which become a problem to the youth. And then they will say, no, this youth is a problem. But actually, there is no youth that is a problem. It's a society that is a problem that creates an environment that is problematic to the next generation. So that was not the system in Vedic India. Because in Vedic India, life was based on developing certain values in society which were good for the welfare of the society. Like if you were a goldsmith and then you train your son to be a goldsmith so that when you grow old and then you take over the business, isn't it? Those opportunities now are becoming lesser and lesser that someone has to go out of the family setting to earn his livelihood. But in ancient India, the professions were running through the family. That a child, if he was born into the business family, from the time he's 9 years, he started going, with his father to the business so that he can be familiar with how the business is working. By the time the boy was 16 years, he was well acquainted with his father's business. So he didn't have to go to America to look for a job. The job was right there in his own village or in his own city. So that culture in India now is diminishing. Yes, because of modernization. So then you have all these qualified technicians, qualified engineers, but there are no jobs. There are no jobs. It's like you graduate so many people. We are producing many, many people from our universities, but we are just graduating them to the street. Just go on the street. But the system should be such that when we graduate them, we say, okay, you go there, you go there, you go to this company, you go there, you go there. We should be able to do that as a government. Okay, this university has so many students graduated in engineering. We should be able to identify companies that has spaces for them to fit in. That would be good, isn't it? When people graduate, we know, okay, we can post them. You go to that company, you go to the, but that system is not there. So these youths are graduating, they are going home. Now it become boredom again. They were studying in university, they had friends, life was promising. Now you are sitting at home, you have no job. And then what comes next? You take drugs just to numb your senses that are troubling you. And then the end, and there is destruction. So it's like in an environment that is created by our society. It's not just in India, it's something all over the world. Yes. So now when we look at the cause, we will see it's obvious, is that the society has moved away from the settings, the setups that are just natural, which people in olden days followed. Yes, there were people who were making pottery, there were people who were building chariots. Oh, he will teach his son the same skill, how to make a chariot, how to make a chariot for war or for wedding. People will order. There's a wedding, they need a chariot. He knew how to make a chariot for wedding. Okay, he will teach that to his son. There are so many weddings because people are getting married all the time. And there will be like people demanding such chariots. So then he will pass that skill to his son. Like that. So the facilitation was there within the family, within that setup, within the city or a village. Someone is a farmer, and then automatically he will pass that skill to his sons. So when they were grown up, they will just take over the same family business, and it will go on like that. And then you found that in India, there are certain businesses that go back to, like, say, 800 years. From the grandfather to the sons to the great grandsons. Yes. So those facilities now are being kind of like taken away now by modernization. These are different ways of looking at it. So now, we're coming back to Vedic scriptures. When we look into Patanjali, who was said to be an exponent of yoga in India, he explains that not just Patanjali, Krishna says the same thing. Tribir gunamair bhavair epi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabijanati mamebhya param avyayam. What Krishna is saying, this is Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, text number 13. This the whole world is deluded by three guna, tribir gunamai, the gunas. What are these gunas? The gunas are the qualities of Prakriti, material nature. So these gunas are the ones that make people think the way they think, like certain things. Even the food that people are eating can be rajasic, tamasic, or sattvic. Hmm? So if you eat tamasic food, and then tamagun grow in you. If you eat rajagun food, and then rajagun increases in your life. If you eat sattvic food, and sattvagun will grow in you. Huh? This is what the ancient Indian culture teaches. Very simple. So Krishna says the same thing in Bhagavad Gita. And then the teachings of Patanjali also says the same thing. He says, mind has different, there are different states of mind. The first, he says, is Shipta, K-S-I-P-T-A. What is it? Shipta, huh? Me, I don't speak Hindi. I may pronounce it wrong. You know. Shipta. And then, what does it mean? The mind that is the mind is disturbed. So nowadays, the youths are very disturbed. So many things are disturbing them. And then the second state of mind is muda. The mind acts like a monkey. Huh? Like a monkey. Chanchala. And then the third stage, they call it vikshipta. The mind that was felt by Arjuna. When you read Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 34, 35, Arjuna is saying, "Oh Krishna, the system of yoga that you is instructing me is impractical. Why? It is unendurable. Why? Because Chanchala Himanaha Krishna, my mind is not, is wandering. It's Chanchala, uncontrollable." So that is what is called Vikshipta. Just like Krishna says, Vyavishayatmika buddhir ekeha kurunandana. Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, verse 41. He says to Arjuna, those who are on this path, meaning yoga, bhakti yoga, they are resolute in purpose. Vyavishayatmika. But those who are not on this path, they are avyavishayatmika. Their intelligence is branched. What Krishna says, eke ha kurunandana. So this eke is like eka grata. Eka grata. Eka grata in the teachings of Patanjali refers to the mind that is concentrated. Whereas the mind that is not concentrated is a mind that is bewildered, unsteady, and disturbed. So these three experiences of the mind, according to the teachings of yoga, is because the mind is affected by Rajagun and Tamagun. So the most of the mental cases that Western psychology is dealing with people who are affected by Rajagun and Tamagun. What they do? They give a drug. They put a drug to the patient which numbs the senses so that he is not active. When that drug is over, he becomes active. And then they give him another drug. They call that treatment. But they're just numbing, his senses. They are not curing the real disease. The disease is what? Rajagun and Tamagun. He is affected by Rajagun and Tamagun. But they don't know that. They're just numbing the senses. So that's what most doctors in psychiatry are dealing with. They're just dealing with people who are affected by Rajagun and Tamagun. So in ancient India, these things were understood. Oh yeah, this person is in Rajagun. He's affected by Rajagun. That's why his mind is disturbed. So then they will take him for meditation, relaxing, Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, and he comes right. The person just comes right. They come right. They'll take him for sessions in yoga, Hatha Yoga, relaxation, and comes right. His mind comes right. Because it's Rajagun and Damagun that is making his mind disturbed. So in that way, the problem is that the systems, the culture that we are following, it promotes Rajgun and Tamagun. Whereas the ancient Indian culture was promoting Sattvic. You understand? If you read Mahabharata, you read Ramayana, the main thing that the leaders, the sages, and all the wise people in India promoted was Sattvic lifestyle. Huh? They were promoting that, Sattvic lifestyle. This Rajagun, Damagun was not encouraged. In modern society, Rajagun and Damagun are encouraged. And then they are complaining, oh, the youths are like this, the youths are like this, but they are creating a Rajasic and Tamasic situation which make youth act the way they are acting. Taking drug is Tamasic. Drinking alcohol, Tamasic. But in university, you have cafeterias with bars where you can drink. This is considered cool, very modern, very civilized. But they are promoting Tamagun. I don't know here in India, but where I come from, university, have those facilities. Yes, it's considered very cool, very civil, to be very civil. But they are promoting Tamagun, Rajgun. In Vedic culture, there was no such a thing. You went to Gurukul, and then in Gurukul was Sattvic. You get up in the morning, you do yagya, you do hatha yoga, you do yagya, and then you go to class. You like that, isn't it? In schooling, this hatha yoga was there to cool your mind, to remove Rajagun and Tamagun. And then you go to the class. And then you do yagya. So all these activities, they are promoting Sattvagun. So Manu Samhita says there are two things. There is activities that are compulsory, nivita and kamya. Kamya means not compulsory. Like what is not compulsory? Like starting industry. You can do, you may not do. But yagya, dana, you must do. Because that is good for your sattvic. Yagya, giving dana, observing Janamastami, Diwali, sattvic is promoted. You must do. It's good for you. So in that way, we see that in our environment, not just here in Bharat or India, everywhere in the globe, Rajasic and Tamasic activities promoted very highly. It's an environment that is disturbing the youth. It's an environment that is depriving the youth jobs. Even though they've graduated from universities, they go home, there's nothing to do. And then they end up taking up to drugs just to stimulate themselves. And they end up being hooked. And then anyone blame them. You see, these youth are not good. They are taking drugs, they are doing this. But we create that environment. We, the elders, we are the ones that create the environment. You see? But in Vedic system, the elders created the environment of sattvic so that the youth can attain liberation from Rajagun and Tamagun. So these are the problems that are facing the youth, but they are just promoted by the environment that is being created in this world. So now coming back to the importance of books. There are books that promote Rajagun. There are books that promote Tamagun. But there are books that promote Sattvic. So those are spiritual books like Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Srimad Bhagavatam, different Puranas, because they talk about the importance of overcoming Rajagun and Tamagun and rising to the platform of Sattva. So our books are very, very important in that whoever gets these books feels liberated. I was just telling those who were there, my first book that I was given was The Science of Self-Realization. I never had such a title, Self-Knowing Myself. I've been going to college, studying all kinds of books. I have to know about this. Isaac Newton, Einstein, what he says. Now, I'm getting a book about knowing myself. Can you imagine? I was amazed. I never heard of such a title. The Science of Self-Realization. How does that sound? I'm studying about myself. It teaches me about myself, not about Newton. I was thinking, this is wonderful. Wonderful. It was like a liberation, moksha. So these are the kinds of teachings that were promoted in ancient India. There was no Gurukul that taught activities of Rajagun and Tamagun. No. So they were promoting students to self-realization. So those students, when they graduated, they went to the society as liberated people. Nowadays, students graduate from our universities, they go back to society as confused people, stressed people, confused. They don't know what is there for me outside the university. Because modern society has created that environment, which is Rajasic and Tamasic. And there's these youths are doing this, are doing so bad, but they have created a problem for the youth. Therefore, in the society, there are no bad youths, but it's like the elder people that are bad, who create that environment for the youth. No jobs, who create no jobs. Those old people there in the systems, they are the ones that are not managing things in such a way that the youth can flow like Ganga. Ganga doesn't ask, where am I going? He's not confused. Ganga is flowing towards the sea. So our youth, when they come from university, They should be flowing in the society because that direction is being created. But there is no direction. They will flow to all places, even to wrong places, because no one has created that avenue for them to flow. So that's modern society. So they've created that. How are they creating that? By promoting Rajagun and Tamagun, or the activities and ideas that promote Rajagun and Tamagun. In Rajagun and Tamagun, you get disturbed minds, bewildered minds, and unsteady minds. That's Vedic teachings. And it's true. They don't create that, the youth. Is any young person who's born with a problem? No. They found them here. Isn't it? Yeah, there's no child that is born and he come and create problems for himself. It's just a society that we are growing up into that is creating problems, and then we just inherit them, isn't it? That's why I became a Swami. I was asking a lot of questions to my elders. Yes. I used to ask many questions. I'll give you an example. When I was young, my elder uncle was married before I was born. He had 2 sons. He was married to a school teacher. But the lady, somehow or other, I don't know who was wrong, whether the lady or them, because my family, they will always claim that they were right. I'm the only one who don't believe that they were right, because I never met that lady. Maybe she was right. So I was always different. So I asked my grandmother, what happened? She told me this. This girl was like this. They always talk as if they were always right. Okay. And then in the end, she decided to leave. So she took her 2 boys. She went in the bags, of course, and she went to the bus stop, waiting for the bus to take her to the place where she came from. And then my aunties, who were teenage girls at that time, they came. They got the news that the daughter-in-law just left, now is going back to her house. They followed her. They found her at the bus stop. They took the kids. They said, these are our brother's kids. They belong with us. You go alone to your house, lady. You leave these kids here. So 2 girls, she had no chance. She surrendered those boys. They took the boys back. And they were feeling proud. Yes, let her go alone. We got our kids back. So those kids, they grew up with Nana and Nani, who were old, uneducated, who didn't really know about the importance of going to school. So then they went to school maybe 1 or 2 years, and then in those days, in our schools, we used to have corporal punishment. They were hitting kids with a stick. I got hit many times. So those boys, they were discouraged. So when she was telling me, my grandmother, I said, all of you people were wrong. I said, you were wrong. Because the mother of these boys was a school teacher. You can't separate small kids from the mother. The main person in the life of children is the mother. It's a mother who arranges a place to sleep for a child. It's a mother who arranges clothes for a child to go to school. It's a mother who sees that the child is not well and take him or her to the doctor. You have deprived these kids that motherly care. And this mother was a school teacher. Surely she would have educated these kids. I said, you were wrong. Yeah, it doesn't matter what happened. But by taking away those kids, now you have made them illiterate. We are all people, you're going to leave them with illiteracy. I said this to my grandmother. You were wrong. All of you people were wrong. You see? And I was right. You understand? The mother was a school teacher. She was in a position to educate her boys. But they were not in a position of educating those boys. As a result, those boys did not get good training. Of course, also the motherly kind of love and care, which is a foundation of every child, that was missing in their lives. So they did those kids harm. So what do you expect from such youth? They can take drugs and do this. You say this youth is taking drugs, this youth, but they created that themselves. Huh? Understand? So in that way, there are no youths that are a problem. It's the elders who don't create a platform for them to flow like Ganga. And then they say, oh, no, these youths are like this. But actually, they don't have any platform for these youths to flow into the society proper. That means education. That means creating a space for them where they can function as people. That if that is not there, and then they have to say to themselves. So in that way, I told my family, there are so many problems that you unknowingly created in the past for the future generation, meaning my cousins. I saw that when I was younger, and I discussed that. I still believe, even up to this day, that the youth don't create their own problems, but they inherit them in the environment. So in that way, the society that is based on Rajagun and Tamagun creates so many problems for the future and for the youth. Whereas in Vedic system, the society created an environment of sattvic, or environment based on sattvic values for generations and generations and generations and generations and generations. There were many options you could choose. And there was someone to teach you. Yes. So in that way, we can see that modern society, with all technologies and scientific advancements, still we have a lot of side effects. There's so many problems, but these problems are just social, caused by social imbalances. In social engineering, there's what is called social imbalances. What does that mean? It means that if you are a governor of a state, and then you give facilities just to your friends and other cronies, and then you leave half of the society unfacilitated, in future, that could bring about problems to the same society. You will not be there as a leader. That will be a problem of someone who will come after you. See, that's a cycle that we are still in today. Social imbalances. Where in some places people have good schools, some other people, they don't get facilities to better their schools, to better their lives. Because someone amongst the leaders decided to focus on his cronies. You get that here also? Yes. You found someone say, I'm a leader for all people, but when he gets to the office immediately, he puts bulletproof glasses. He wants to drive a bulletproof car. Have you seen that? No, he's not a man of the people now. He's fearing the same people. Why? Because he knows he's a liar. Now he's with his cronies now. So that's what we call social imbalances. I spoke about that in my family. You created a problem for these young boys by separating them from their mother, who was a qualified lady, a teacher who would have taught them and given them bright future, because she knew what was bright future. Whereas your people, you are uneducated villagers. You are basing your ideas on your own dark background. But this lady was a teacher. As a teacher, she was qualified to take care, not just her children, it's her profession to take care of children. What to speak of her sons. But we have deprived them that. So that's what we call social imbalances. So the society is promoting the activities of Rajgun and Tamagun. Whereas in Vedic, ancient Vedic systems in India, Sattvagun was promoted more than Rajagun, Tamagun was discouraged. People went to Gurukul to study, to be trained how to rise above Rajagun and Tamagun and be in Sattva. That's why things like Dana, Jagya, they were promoted in the Gurukul system. Yeah. Because those actions promote goodness, not just for the students, but for the people also, whom these students will lead after training. So that's what is missing. That is the missing link in society all over the world. So these books, the importance of these books, as Srila Prabhupada's books, is that they are also doing the same thing. They are promoting Sattvagun, not Rajagun and Tamagun. And therefore, they are good for all people, all over the world. So in that way, the books are very, very important. Yeah, for all people around the globe, not just in India, but these books were written for all people. The example you will see, one of the cultures of India that very, very commonplace outside of India is yoga, meditation. Even in Africa, some schools now are making it compulsory for kids to go through meditation before they begin classes. Why? Because meditation promotes Sattvagun. It eases the mind. The mind is full of Rajagun and Tamagun. So in that way, you can see how the ancient culture of India in philosophy, in yoga, is being recognized worldwide as means for calming down people who are higher in Rajagun and Tamagun. That even in many places in Africa now, people are adopting to yoga and meditation for students in primary and high school. That in America is commonplace. You go to UK, talk yoga, everyone somehow or other knows about it or is doing that. Talk about meditation, everyone knows outside of India now. So that is just a small or a big example of how ancient Vedic culture is still relevant even today. The example is that of yoga and meditation. They are very big outside of India. Like transcendental meditation, all that in America is very, very big. Raja Yoga, very big in the West. Even in Brazil, very big. Why? Because people have realized that all these practices releases them from stress, releases them from pressures, Why? Because they just promote you from Rajakun to Dhammakun. So that's an example of how Indian culture, ancient Indian culture, is still relevant to society even today. So therefore, these books, being part of that ancient Indian culture, like Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. Right? So they are good for the people because they have to they give us knowledge of how to relieve ourselves from Rajagun and Tamagun, how to place ourselves on the platform of Satagun. And then once you're in Satagun, that is called Ekagrata, concentrated mind. From concentrated mind, Nirodha, controlled mind. If you go higher, you can come to Samadhi, total fixation. So that's the system in ancient India. It was about to bring people above Rajagun and Dhammakun through all these spiritual practices, whether it be yoga, meditation, japa. They are meant to bring us to Sattvagun. From Sattvagun, and then we, everything become clear, just as in daytime we see, oh, that's a donkey, oh, that's a gomata, that's not a horse, that's a gomata. But at night, everything looks the same. It's unclear. So that's Rajgun and Dhammagun. So that way, this knowledge is valuable. The example is that even today, you can go to England, go to America, you find that yoga, meditation, these things are commonplace. Vegetarianism, you talk about it, everyone talk about veganism. Like I was in Brazil, I got sick this year. One Hare Krishna lady, she arranged that I go for X-ray. She's a doctor, and then I went for X-ray. And then we got the X-ray results. I was sick. I had so many things: cholesterol, sugar was high. I had prostrate also. First time in my life, I had prostrate. Had this, and then they arranged medicine. When I look at the medicines, they all says vegan. Vegan means plant-based medicines. Where did they get this idea? From India, isn't it? Yeah. Vegan, they say vegan, but you look at it, it's like plant-based medicine. But all that originated from Vedic India, Ayurveda. And then I was taking these medicines, and then I went to Africa. I went to check again. I did another test. Everything is gone. Your kidney is okay, prostate is gone, this is okay, but only blood sugar, a little bit higher. And I got some medication for that. Yes, but just plant-based medicines. So these practices, Vedic practices, are still available and valuable even today. The idea of plant-based medicine is very popular in the West. I got these medicines in Brazil. But when I look at them, it's just same Ayurvedic concept. So in that way, the books are available in whichever way you look at them. They are beneficial because they are giving us the ancient Vedic wisdom, which is still beneficial to us up to this day. Thank you very much. And it's nice to be with you. Now you can ask questions.
Maharaj, you spoke about the book called SSR, which you used to join. So, what comparison was there on the material world and what knowledge SSR gave? What that one thing which drove you to decide this?
Well, the science of self-realization, you found that it consists of questions and answers also. Uh, what I kind of like realized in that book was that there is difference between me, the body, and me, the Atma or spirit. That I am Atma, thinking that I'm the body. Just like someone who's driving Toyota, he thinks that I am Toyota. Yes. So that really liberated me because I had so many problems based on that. Like in my country where I grew up, South Africa is very famous for what? Apartheid. Huh? When Mahatma Gandhi was living in South Africa, actually he was living in my city. He took a train, he bought a ticket, and then he entered the train wanting to go to Johannesburg. And then there's another city before, just after Durban, where he come from, Pietermaritzburg. The ticket examiner in a train, they go around checking tickets. They found him sitting in a first class compartment. They threw him out because he was an Indian. He shouldn't be there. He should have not been there. He was not supposed to be there. An Indian in first class? How dare you? They caught him and they threw him out of the train. And the train left. And he had to go back where he came from. So that was a life in my country. Of course, I'm not a great soul like Gandhi ji, but it was a life for us. To be treated like that was just common. So when I read the SSR, all those questions were answered because there is a law of karma also. I thought, oh, maybe it was my karma to be born in such an environment and be treated unfairly. What I need to do now is to learn how to become a better person than what I was before. And also, I have to learn how to apply this philosophy in my life and forget the past. That was my past karma. So, in that way, everything that is happening here in the material world, sometimes we become overwhelmed, but it's just like some karma that is passing through. After sometimes it will pass. Where I am today, I'm here. Where are those people? Those police? Where is that policeman who threw out Mahatma Gandhi from the train? He's gone. Yeah, and then his system also, we have defeated that system. Yeah. He was just like karma. So in that way, there are so many calamities, many events that are not so nice to us. We have to let go and let God. But we can do that only when we have some knowledge to back that up. And those people are gone. Yes. They used to believe that they were given the powers by God to do as they please with us. They used to believe that they will always be there. Napoleon was France and France was Napoleon. Napoleon is gone, France is still there. It was just an idea that I'm so powerful that I will live in France forever. This was an idea of Hiranyakashipu. He went to perform tapasya thinking that I want to rule this earth forever. Isn't it? And Brahma gave him the boons that he requested. But Nishingadev came and exterminated Hiranyakashipu's rule. So he had that period where he was ruling, but it was not going to be forever. So things of this world, they come and go. But we are not of this world. We are just here temporarily. We are like the passengers at different train stations, headed somewhere, at least if we know where we are going. So that's what I got from this book, The Science of Self-Realization. I'm just like a passenger in this journey of life. The real purpose of life is to know, where am I going? Who am I? Where am I going? So that's what the Krishna consciousness books have provided for me. At least that's for me. Someone will realize something else. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for the question. Yes, Prabhu?
Regarding as sadhakas, there are some good days for us practicing Krishna consciousness, and there are
Yes.
mostly not so good days.
Yes, it's true.
So, because you have been practicing for so many decades, so how to keep going, how to be dedicated and enthusiastic generally. Like after a certain period of time, things become a little mechanical. Feels. It's like, for example, we are chanting for the sake of completing the number of rounds or something like that.
Yes, that's a very good question. The problem is that we become too familiar with the process. So then familiarity brings about contempt. We become contemptuous. And then when that contempt grows in us, we end up taking everything for granted. That is why the acharyas, they teach us that we have to, the Mahaprabhu says, we learn to be tolerant like a tree, more tolerant than a tree. We have to learn how to be more humble than a blade of grass. People who walk on grass, the grass doesn't complain. And from our Prabhu says, we learn to give respect to others without expecting something in return. That's very difficult. And he says we do that, we will have the ability to chant the holy name or relish chanting the holy name life after life. The problem in the material world is about becoming big. Right? There are 4 philosophies where all religious groups draw philosophy from. One is Monism, another one is the Mayavadi, and number 3 is the yoga, Patanjali yoga system, mystic yoga, and then personalism. In personalism, we believe God is a person, like we believe Krishna is a person. That's why we celebrate his Janmashtami. We celebrate so many festivals. Because he was a person, he engaged in many activities. Some people say, no, God is just light. Yes, light is his energy. Brahmeti, Paramameti, Bhagavan iti Sabhyati. God is realized in 3 ways as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So the complete understanding of the absolute is that of Bhagavan realization. Brahman realization is incomplete. Yeah. So in that way, when we understand Bhagavan in completeness, and then it's easy to understand other things. So we become complacent because we lack that conviction which comes from the realizations. Just like a tree, some Acharya gave example of a tree. So the tree that is full of fruits, what does it do? It bends down. So the more fruits of devotion you are full of, the more you will bend down. Yes. But that's not easy. It takes practice. Everyone wants to be big. The Gyanis want to be big. Yes, they want, and the Gyanis wants liberation. The mystic yogis, they want mystic powers, opulences of being able to walk on water, fly up in the sky without wings, and all these kind of wonderful things. The Kamis wants material enjoyment. But Mahaprabhu says, Krishna Bhakta, because Krishna Bhakta Niskama Ataiva Shanta. Kami, Siddhi, what I say? The Kamis, the Siddhis, the Gyanis, Shakali, Ashant. And that's Bengal, Shakali. When you go to Mahaprabhu, say, Bhushan, Shakali, Bhushan, all of you sit down. You heard that in Mahaprabhu, they are not in Shakali, Bhushan. Yeah. I like Bengal. It sounds very sweet, like Gulab Jamun. Shakali, Bhushan. So, Mahaprabhu says, Shakali, Ashanti. All the cities, the Kamis, they are not peaceful. Why? Because they want something. Say, Krishna Bhakta Niskama. Krishna Bhakta, because he wants nothing, is the one that becomes peaceful. They just want to serve Krishna. That's all. They are praying, oh my Lord, let me be engaged in your devotional service, life after life. I don't want anything. You see that Prahlad Maharaj, when Hiranyakashipu was killed, Narasimha said, Prahlad, you're such a good devotee, I want to give you all material opulences. What do you want? Prahlad Maharaj says, Yasmat Priya Apriya Vyoga Samyoga Janma. My dear Lord, oh great one, due to pleasing and displeasing circumstances, everyone in this material world is put in the most regrettable position. Shokagnina, Agnina means fire. It's like they are put in fire. He says, wherever people are in the material world, they are like burning in fire because of circumstances. As far as I'm concerned, in the material world, all the solutions to material problem are more problematic than the problems themselves. For me, the only solution is bhakti. I need bhakti. I want bhakti from you. Because anything that you can give me outside of bhakti will multiply my problems. Huh? That's Prahlad, that's the body. That is why Prahlad Maharaj is said to be Achuta Gotra. Yes. That comes out when you study Bhaktivedanta course. Achuta Gotra. Prahlad Maharaj is called Achuta Gotra. One who belongs to the lineage or the family of Krishna. Yes. Not Hiranyakashipu. He was born in the family of Hiranyakashipu, but he is not Hiranyakashipu Gotra. He is Achyuta Gotra. So we have to become Achyuta Gotra. We do not belong to this family, this society, or that society, but we belong to Krishna. Yes, we belong to Krishna. When we come to that realization, everything else becomes insignificant. I belong to Krishna. Okay. Anybody else?
My question is, when we are going for Bhakti distribution, how can we preach to people of different faith like Muslims and Christians?
I hear this question many times. We don't preach to people of different faith, but on book distribution, we are just distributing books. If they are interested in knowing what is in our books, we can sell them, but preaching to them is something else. We don't preach to them. Don't try to preach to them. But if they're interested in books or they come with questions you can answer, we don't preach to them. Because preaching means that my faith is great. My religion is better than yours by this point and this point and that point and that point. You understand? That's what preaching does. I have to tell you how small your religion is. How your religion can really, your religion is not going to take you to the kingdom of God and give reasons. So that's preaching now. You cannot preach without undermining the faith of that person. Right? So that is dangerous. We don't preach to Muslims, we don't preach to Christians, but if they are asking questions, wanting to know about Krishna consciousness, we can answer them. But we don't just go and tell them, no, this Islam of yours is really not taking it nowhere. Come here. We are in light. Come to the light. Get out of this darkness. No, we don't do that. But if they come asking questions, we can answer. But we shouldn't preach to them. There was one boy in London, was not in London, in Birmingham, England. I stayed in Birmingham for some times as a book distributor. So there is one boy, came from London. He is born into Muslim family. And then later on, he met Bhakti Maharaj. He became a devotee. He was initiated by Bhakti Maharaj. So when he came to our center in Birmingham from London, he wanted to go out. But they used to hear how we used to do books there. So many people came to experience that. So he went out with me. Well, while we were doing the books, okay, what we used to do, another person will be, say, we across the street, I'll be on the other side. So he was across the street, I was on the other side of the street. So there were some boys in England. You get all those people who are originally from Pakistan. They are Muslims, originally from Pakistan. So he stopped, few of them. They stopped. He showed them the books. They were like, now they could tell these are Hindu books. And them didn't have anything to do with the books. So he was trying also to preach to them. He said to them, I was a Muslim. Yeah. In other words, I was a Muslim. I've got a better stuff from reading this book. Immediately they changed. From being friendly, they changed. Were you a Muslim? And then you converted. we can kill you straight away. And then I'm hearing them across the street. And then immediately I ran across, I told this Muslim guy, no, this boy, I just got him out of a mental hospital. He's not right in his mind. He doesn't know what he's talking. They said, okay. They left him. After this day, when he sees me, he says, Maharaj, thank you for saving me. From those Muslims in Birmingham. I was trying to preach to them, but I realized later I pressed the wrong button. So in that way, you shouldn't preach to them. It may not really end up, the way you think. It's like it's very risky. Yeah, you may preach to those who are really fanatics, and they may get upset. And yes, it's better to explain if someone is asking questions. But when you try to undermine his religion, so now we have the light here. That is bright. It's brighter than the light of Islam, and they may not take that. They may not take that very slightly. They may be some violent people, and they may harm you. Not just harm you, they can go to a place where you are living and harm everyone who is connected to you. These people are mad. You understand? Yeah, so they are like that. They don't just harm you, they can harm the whole group. They can come and bomb your temple. You just say something which they consider blasphemy. I'm telling you, these people, I try to avoid them by all means. Yes. But if they are nice, asking questions, I answer. But I don't try to undermine their religion and promote my faith, because there are so many people that I can preach to who have no religion. They already have their religion. Just leave them like that. Let them want to convert to Krishna consciousness. But we shouldn't go out of our way trying to convert them, because these people can be very dangerous. Yeah. Because they have their own rules. If someone says this about the Quran, it's blasphemy. You can kill him. They will kill you. See? You just have to say something that undermines the Quran or undermine their religion, they'll kill you. Understand? And then I've seen them also in one document, on the internet, how they were killing people the Hindus in Bangladesh. I didn't like that, but that's how they are. You just say something which they consider blasphemy or offensive, they'll kill you. Even if it's just a small thing. Not, let alone a Hindu. They kill even another Muslim. Like one girl, she was in a class, they were taking lessons of the Quran. She just asked certain questions which she was doubting. She had some doubt. Immediately, that's not allowed in Islam. You can't doubt the Quran. And then the person was still called men. 100 men came, they took her out of class, they killed her. How can you how can you doubt the Quran? You understand? That's how sensitive they are. That even if you're a Muslim, you ask questions that are doubting the Quran, immediately is an offense. Yeah. They will remove you. So don't really preach to them. But if they are asking questions, you can answer. But don't try to undermine the Quran or their religion. It becomes like bizarre. When they are upset, those people are upset. You cannot reverse what you have said. They are very, very sensitive people, David. Depending on where you are, but I have experience. Like of this devotee I was with in Sankirtan. They immediately changed when he told them he was a Muslim and he became Hare Krishna. Immediately they said, no, we can kill you. Yeah, he got the message straight away. but he couldn't reverse what he had said. He didn't know what to do. And I came in. I said, no, he's crazy. He doesn't know what he's saying. He was never a Muslim, this guy. Yeah. I said, no. I just got him out of hospital. He's not mentally right. To save him. Otherwise, he didn't know how to get out of the situation. Yeah, they are like that. You can't joke with them. Once you say something that they consider blasphemous to the Quran or to their religion, you cannot reverse that back. Once you say something that is considered offensive to them, they can punish you. You can't do anything. They don't just punish you. They can come in and punish the whole family. Yeah. They are like very aggressive people. When it comes to their religion, don't mess around with them. Okay. Any other question, Prabhus? Huh? The light. Hallelujah. Christianity is very famous in Africa, yes. Hallelujah. I forgot the direct meaning. But it's like we say Haribo. So the Christians say Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. We say chant the name of Hari. It's the same thing. Yeah. It means praise the Lord. In what I call in the original language, Hebrew language. It's just saying praise the Lord. Yeah. Hallelujah. You like it, huh? Very nice question. Okay, thank you very much. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki.